Right, let the games begin. Like they say, it's time to take a look at the stories making the headlines. And we'll be doing that with a social commentator, Smart Akpejoye. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. We start off very quickly with the Punch. Senate asks a court, that's the Supreme Court, to reinstate Onongen. With the rider, we only recognize Onongen as CJN, and that's according to the NBA. Lawyers to boycott courts today and tomorrow. And CCT suspends Onongen's trial indefinitely. What do you say to these developments?
First, I will take it from the two major parties' angle, the APC and the PDP. It's unfortunate the APC is seeing Onongen's suspension perhaps as a victory for them, and PDP is seeing it as, look, a decision as against PDP. In the first place, it is not that against PDP is saying it as, look, a decision as against PDP. In the first place, it is not that against APC or for PDP, APC, or against PDP. Is an issue that all Nigerians should be concerned about. They should, both parties shouldn't have even make it a major issue at all. The simple fact is that, look, they have complained that there is a petition against an infraction from the number one lawmaker of the country. That is the CGN. First, what should be looked at is that let us investigate this issue. Are these allegations
from the number one law interpreter?
Yes. Look, are these issues, are they true? And if they are true, what is the prescribed punishment? What is the process it should go through? I have listened to so many people talk about for and against it. The simple truth is that for most people that are against they are against the process at which and the speed at which the executive is taking it. While there are similar issues that have been that have been swept under the carpet, like the case of Babashe Lawal. Nobody has heard about that report. So, you see, this is what all Nigerians should be concerned about. It is not APC or PDP. It is not even the NBA. But you see, why I like the NBA is that the NBA, I listened to their president spoke yesterday after their emergency meeting. Yes. They are all saying, let due process be followed. And that is the crux of the matter. And that is my stand.
Okay, we'll be talking further about this, of course. It's still one of our major topics to look at this morning. And I wonder how concerned you are. Rising debt profile bad for the economy. That's at the top column of the masthead there. Well, that's according to the Senate panel. $22.08 billion.
You see,
as of June of 2018.
First, I studied banking and finance, and having worked in the bank, you see, there are some things that are not good for anybody. Just like a normal person, if your debt profile is too high, it will definitely impede your investment. It will impede your expenditure. And again, there's nothing wrong again if your debt profile is high, provided that you have spent that money on an investment that is yielding an income. This is a country where, you see, today I don't want to talk about APC, I don't want to talk about PDP members, because who are the people in PDP? Who are the people in APC? You will find out that in the past 16 or 18, going to 20 years now, it has been the same cabals of people moving about, rigmaroling, and they've not done anything. You cannot see anything that our high debt profile has even achieved for this nation. Not on the issue of a good road, not on the issue of a rail network. See, Rwanda emerged from crisis. Today, Rwanda, they are becoming one of the major airline to be reckoned with in Africa. Yes. And why Nigeria does not even have an airline? And we are all here celebrating. We are talking about APC, we are talking about PDP. You see, I'm so upset these days that sometimes I don't want to be on my own. I don't even want to talk about these two things. It's so bad.
A lot of people share the same sentiments. Meanwhile, budget, Lagos Assembly moves against Ambode, may commence impeachment process. And you think, don't we have enough problems on our hands already that we're even talking about an impeachment process against the Lagos State Governor? IG sends DIG nominees' names to Police Service Commission. And don't plunge Nigeria into constitutional crisis. Atiku tells Buhari Labour tackles FG. Governors over new minimum wage. FG planning to eliminate me. That's the governor of Benue State speaking there, Autumn.
All right, Ngozi. Well, May I say that you have taken almost all the stories on the front page
Go
of the
ahead.
Nation newspaper?
Well, go ahead and feel free to
let's
chew
try,
on all the other stories
let's try and see if we can find any other ones that you haven't touched. The CJN and Nohan senators disagree over legal option. That's the way that the Nation newspaper put it. And then another story here, PDP Miles appeal as tribunal affirms Fayemi's victory.
Yes, you see, normally when a case is in court, you are supposed to be careful on how you
whatever you say about it.
But first, I know that before yesterday that Fayemi will be victorious. You remember I've been on this prior before the election. I was on this. I was on your station where I said it will be miracle if PDP wins Ekiti State, and the reason is that because you see this is a state that is a predominantly civil service state. This is a state that any governor, any sensible person would have shifted the economy out of civil service, out of public service, and bring it to private sector. Ekiti State has so much economic potentials in terms of agriculture, in terms of tourism. There are people that they are toying with, and you will see them open a bridge and they are celebrating that a governor has built a bridge. Of what significance is that for the people of Ekiti? So it was good radiance to bad rubbish that the people of Ekiti voted out PDP. That is the simple truth.
Okay. All right. No dictatorship here, says federal government. Of course, there have been insinuations that the way that the government has been handling the removal of the CGN, Justice Onohen, it would appear we are sliding into dictatorship. And the government has responded that no dictatorship here.
Of course, you won't expect the government to say, yes, there is that we are sliding into dictatorship. But however, you see, when you look at the process at which it is being carried out, you see, it shows that, look, the federal government is out for something. Like I have said.
What do you think the federal government is out for?
You see, the federal government has shown that perhaps they've never really supported or liked this Onoge at the speed at which it was carried out. Like I've said earlier on, when you have an issues like this, you have to be careful in handling such issue, because we are talking about the leader of another arm of government, having to remove him,
an independent
institution for that matter. You see, you have to be careful when you have all this glaring evidence against him. Please go to the due process and now put it in the public court.
Government says due process has been followed, that after all this was based on the recommendation of a CCT. And Garba Shehu, the spokesman of the government, actually said that, look, governance is really not about being nice.
We know that's
not a popularity
contest.
All right, let's talk about something else now. Lots of doctors begin warning strike.
You see,
the education sector
is on strike. The lawsuit doctors, they are beginning a warning strike. You see, if there is any aspect of the nation that should not go on strike, it should be the medical thing. That should not even
the health sector.
It should be the health sector. But what do we have? Every time here and there, you either see the medical doctors, you either see the nurses, you either see the other paraphernalia of that section going on strike. It is very sad. And when you look at it, and again, I heard about Kogi State, where almost about 80-something medical doctors resigned from the service. How many doctors do they have in the whole of Kogi State, where almost about over 80 they are resigning? I think we should sit down, and this brings me again that we should be talking about good governance, not about mundane issues. We should look at. There are some people that should not be toyed with in the terms of employment, in terms of providing facilities for them. You see a medical doctor, they have to spend almost about 9 years, 10 years in the university, including strike, coming out looking for a job.
Well, right now, it looks like Nigeria just trains medical doctors only to send them abroad.
Exactly.
70% of medical doctors
there are various schemes now.
In the United States, of the African-American doctors are Nigerians. 70%.
There are various schemes now that all you just need to do, if you are if graduated as a medical doctor in Nigeria, you will just go on that site, fill some forms, international forms, and by the time they will ask you to submit your credentials. They will go through it. You will go to their country, write an exam. If you pass, now they will give you automatic employment.
And give you everything you need.
Every day, Nigerian doctors are going out, and when they go out, they perform spectacularly well. So what is wrong with us here in Nigeria?
All right.
Good question, begging for answers. To the Vanguard, police run out Ononge's staff, seal off his office, and that was as early as 7 a.m. Yesterday. Well, police is saying we didn't. 25 lawyers drag Buhari to court as CCT adjourns trial indefinitely. Senate shelves plan to reconvene, heads to court, protests in Calabar, Abuja and Lagos. Okay, well, that's it really for the Ononge story from the Vanguard. We'll be talking at length about this later on the show. Pro and anti-gov... Well, I just said we're done with Ononge.
Honestly,
But, you know, there's still more. Pro anti-Ononge protests rock Abuja. Strike. ASU gets license to run pension scheme. Ononge mass action can't change cause of justice. That's Lai Mohammed speaking there, the information minister. Okay, so justice is taking its course. That's what he's saying. Minimum wage workers boo Ngige, Yari at Reps public hearing. Nigeria, others to mobilize $2 billion to finance energy projects across Africa. How timely is this?
Well, if
how needed is this?
You see, the reality I don't really see, because we do too much of talking. There are aspects by today, like I've said, Nigeria should not be having issue with energy. We should not have been, because we have so many sources in the north. Solar is a viable means. In the west here, where we have large coastal this thing, wind propeller would have been another source of this thing, another source of energy. We have too many things that could have. We shouldn't have. I see energy as even a trivial issue that should have long been forgotten. But we've never had good government. We've never had, and you keep on. They keep telling him stories today, and that is why they will come up with the same kind of promises that they will give you water. At 21st century, should anybody be talking about that they will provide you water in your local government? Okay,
good question. Lagos Assembly gives Ambode a week to present budget, threatens impeachment. Of course, they're alleging misconduct and mismanagement and all kinds of misses.
Yes, you see, that is due process that I talked about. You see, I listened to it until late yesterday, more especially when this guy, Agumbiade of Inikorodu, the majority leader, was analyzing, was reeling out the offenses. You see, unanimously they agreed that, look, okay, let us give him 1 week to come and do the needful. If he refuses to do the needful, they table the processes with which they follow. We have seen a situation whereby some House of Assembly members, within 3-4 days, they impeached a deputy governor, they impeached a sitting governor, they would have removed him. Of course, probably the sitting governor, the deputy governor would probably go to court.
So right now they're going through due process.
They are going through due process.
All right, final one. DSS gave me $500,000 bribe. I offered Farouk Lawan.
No, not bribe. They didn't give him. They didn't give him the bribe. They gave him the cash. They made the cash available to him in order to trap Farouk Lawan, because it is marked money.
And he walked right into
it.
All right, let's go to the This Day newspaper. Opposition unrelenting. Senate challenges Onohen's suspension at Supreme Court. Well, another important story here on the front page of the This Day, Dogara, 30,000 naira minimum wage, not enough for workers. The Speaker of the House of Representatives during the public hearing, in his opening speech, said, look, it is about time that we paid living wage and not minimum wage.
Well, can you really achieve that minimum wage?
30,000 naira is not a living wage.
Living wage.
30,000 is, you see, what they're just saying is that, look, they are paying and they are increasing minimum salary from minimum wages from 18,000 to 30,000 naira. It's not a living wage. I have always said that if you provide every necessary infrastructures, Nigeria probably 18,000 naira perhaps will even take them home.
Yes.
But not in a situation whereby you have 2 children even. Let's even take 2, and your salary is 30,000. Where would that take you to? There's no public school, no good public school, no good transport network, no good health facility. You still run your house with a better pass my neighbor. How would 30,000 take you home? And they want to eradicate corruption.
Well, by the way, I better pass my neighbor. I pass my neighbor is a small generator.
Yes,
for those who don't understand what that is.
Small generator.
All right, crude oil price drops to $60 over U.S.-China trade dispute. This these two world powers, economic powers, seem to be, flexing muscles.
Whenever America and China sneeze,
Nigeria catches cold.
Nigeria and other developing nations catches cold. That is it.
Yeah.
You see, right now, even we should have perhaps see our income from oil as perhaps a substitute. You understand? A plus.
Just a plus.
We have too many. We have too many things. You see, anytime I travel around the world, sometimes the only where I've gone in the world is whenever I'm in America. America has large land mass as against Nigeria. Nothing again. Nothing, and everything works. Nothing again as America got that Nigeria that does not have times two.
Yeah. The state of Texas alone is bigger than Nigeria.
But then, that was what I talk about the land mass. But then, with everything that we have we utilized it? Yeah. We are concentrating our income on oil and gas.
Energy.
It is sad.
All right, that's it now for a look at the front pages.
Wish there was a more optimistic way of ending the paper review this morning, but we have to say thank you very much, Smart Akpejoye, for joining us on the show, as always. Okay, 17 days to the general election, there are concerns that more than 5.6 million PVCs or so haven't been picked up. We'll look at all of that when we come back from this short breather. Stay picked up. We'll look at all of that when we come back from this short breather. Stay with us.
Stay with us.